The Frituals, written and performed by author Caitlin Costello. Chapter 34. Tetra. Tetra doesn't like where this is going. The ring of people surrounding her in the middle of this room is growing by the minute. The throne room is still decked out for the Fritual ceremony. The memory stabs Tetra. She had tried to protect her family that night, and look what good it had brought her. It was her turn now to stand on the platform with hundreds of eyes upon her. Ward stands off to the side. It's only slightly annoying to her that he isn't tied up. Why do they think it is safer for him if he is loose? Someone probably told them what happened the last time you stood on this stage, she reminds herself. She has to give them a little credit for thinking about that one. She really hopes that man rotted in hell. Who did he think he was, attacking my sister like that? Bastard. She remembers the big hole in his chest, and how the blood stained the blade of the knife after that. I would do it again if I had to. She looks around and knows that time might come sooner than she had once thought. She takes a deep breath and straightens her back. Whatever is coming, she will be ready for it. She looks over and catches Ward's eye. He scans her face, looking for signs that she is okay. When she nods, he relaxes and gives her a sort of half smile. He is as clueless as to what is going to happen as she is. She is the first of all of the people captured in Cabanarel to rebel. She wonders what they had done in the other kingdoms. If there had been no communication between the kingdoms that led to the idea that they were dead. Tetra couldn't help but wonder if she would be the first of many to go. Had others thought to rebel and failed? Did the Dark Ones have a signature move, or did they change it up as they went? She freezes as her father and Moraine are dragged into the room. Fear and relief ripple through her in alternating waves, tying her stomach in knots. She's overjoyed to see her father, but fear of what they might do to him begins to outweigh the relief. Her father and Moraine look all right, tired and dirty. The cut on her father's face seems to be healing nicely. She looks towards Ward, who quickly puts the pieces together. "Breathe," he mouths. She must be an open book to him. She takes another deep breath, counting the beats. She doesn't want to be made to look a fool, however this goes forward. She wants the people to remember her as they did her sister. Strong. Just breathe. The worst thing that they could do would be to kill me. Then, well, at least you wouldn't be in a cage anymore. Tetra takes a few deeper breaths, making sure to keep her shoulders back. She repeats the little mantra about being dead in her head. The guard who had brought them here came through the doors. Tetra had seen him once before. She remembers seeing a group of guards talking quietly, but in rapid voices. They kept raising their voices as they got excited, but quickly had to bring the levels back down with all of the people around. At the time, she had taken it as a sign that they were excited about the ceremony. Maybe they had known more than anybody else, and that the Fritual had been found. No, Tetra now knows that it was a conference of who could finally engage in an attack that they had waited for years. Maybe even decades. Again, he speaks furiously with a group of guards, now a mixture of elves and humans. Tetra can't help but think that this is the opposite of how elves should act. The idea that they are always parading around is that no human should be able to control their magic. The humans are a base creature compared to their beauty, which on some levels she does agree with. They are a magnificent people, but now a portion of them have taken it too far. It strikes her odd that there are men in the guards, because how else could they control the locks? Even teaching Ward how to deflect the coils so they relaxed had to have been a sort of magic, right? The guard walks tall and proud to the stage. He wears his all-black uniform, but he wears a cloak over the top that looks like waves of oil shifting on a piece of fabric. Tetra shoots another glance at Ward. He is rigid, his hands tight in front of him. He catches her eye and ever so slightly shakes his head. This is not good. She tries to stand tall. Teacher scans the crowd and finds Sam. He is pale, with splotches of heat from anger painting his cheeks. She thinks he's been crying. Sam is quivering, whether from fear or anger she can't tell from here. She sends a smile, hoping it would give him a bit of courage. Teacher prays he won't be harmed by whatever comes next. The elf raises his hands like a conductor in an orchestra. The entire room falls quiet, waiting. Hello. I am Nurzan, General of the Dark Ones. Teacher looks over to Ward. This is not good. This is definitely not good. I understand that you here are not quite used to a higher rule. I have been told that you humans had a mayor. I say had because I need to use the past tense. We killed him. There's a cry of pain as Mrs. Pratt, the mayor's wife, learns what happened to her missing husband. He tried bargaining with us. I don't do bargains. He scans the crowd again. Then we have the elves, who Moraine more guides through their lives than rules. He gives her a withering glance. You will find I am not so lenient. Here, we will have rules. Rules that are meant to be followed, not broken. Here. He points a long finger at Tetra, then at Ward. We have 2 rule breakers. They plotted a way to help her escape. They are spreading rumors about affection for her, how our rule is wrong. What do you say to that? Some in the crowd shift uncomfortably. No one wanted to share their true opinion. Well, this is what I say. I will not kill them. Teacher wants to sigh in relief. However, she can sense that there is more. But they will be punished. Ward, come here. Ward steps up tentatively. Yes, sir, he says, forcing his voice to remain calm. I was told that initially you were a strong soldier, responsive to all our commands and orders. You didn't question anything. What changed? Ward avoids looking at Tetra, staring at a far point on the wall. I was a good soldier. Then I realized this wasn't the side I wanted to be fighting for anymore. And what side do you want to fight for? A side where people can be free. Nurzan glowers down at Ward. You realize that typically the punishment for being a turncloak, a traitor, is death. Ward nods. And yet, you still went through with this. Ward nods again. Well, I must commend you for your bravery and dedication to your cause. I only wish you could have been focused elsewhere. Alas, that is not the case. So we will move forward. Ward, is it true that you have grown to care for Tetra Flynn? Ward glances toward Tetra. Well? Ward turns back to Nurzan and says, I feel that I must protect her. So yes, I care for her. Nurzan grins. We can have no more of that. Remove your belt. Ward freezes, looking at Tetra, searching for a way to delay the inevitable, but nothing comes to mind. Slowly, Ward slips off his belt, loop by loop. Strip her, Nurzan commands. Tetra tries to fight the hands that grab her, but they quickly strip her blue dress Shauna had given her, leaving her in just a short white slip dirty from sweat and grime from the cell below. Goosebumps of cold and fear rise on her skin as she is forced down in front of Ward. 50 lashings. Ward, when you are ready. 50 or 15? Ward questions. His voice is thick, the leather belt hanging loosely in his hand. Why 50, of course. This is a punishment, is it not? Ward is frozen, pain painted across his face. Does someone need to show you how it is done? Nurzan asks sarcastically. He grabs Ward's belt and before the man can react, brings it down across Tatra's back. Tatra bites her tongue to stifle her cry of pain. What? Too light? Nurzan asks, bringing the belt down again, harder this time. Tatra whimpers and tries to crawl away, but 2 guards grab her and hold her in place. That is how you give a lashing, he says, handing the belt back to a dumbstruck Ward. Oh, and those 2 lashings don't add to the overall count. He shoves Ward forward a few steps. Tay, I don't want to do this to you. Ward is at a loss for words. Tay, I can't. It's okay, Ward. She looks away, takes a deep breath and tenses her whole body. It's okay. Just do it. Ward lifts the belt and lightly strikes her shoulders. Come on, boy. You can do more than that. Tatra tenses her body again, and Ward strikes, again, a bit harder. Tatra bites back another whimper as the stripes across her back begin to overlap. Tatra had broken her ankle before. This was worse. She feels where the first part of the belt connects with her skin, and where the rest of its length comes down milliseconds after. It is a pain that lingers, spreading across her skin until her entire back burns. Please, I think she gets the point. Please, stop, Jamie shouts, trying to rush forward. He is quickly subdued by 2 more guards. He will not stop. Would you rather we killed your daughter? That is your other option. Jamie settles back reluctantly. Tatra can see through the tears that she has suppressed that Ward is watching her father. Jamie nods, and Ward turns and looks at Tatra. 5 more, he whispers. That's it. She nods. This was it. Ward brings down the belt, again and again, quickly getting the pain away. Then he freezes, arm raised to strike again. Stop, Tatra shouts. She grits her teeth and pushes her guards away and forces her way right in front of Ward. What happened to the boy that was going to protect me? He shoves her away and Tatra stumbles, exaggerating how hard he pushed her. Do I look like I had any other choice? You try to face him down, he snaps. Tatra tilts her head towards her 2 shadows, and Ward nods. I trusted you. Will you 2 please contain the girl? Nurzan asks lazily. The 2 guards in question move forward to grab Tatra. She uses the movement to her advantage. She feels her back stretch and burn as she drops by. She ignores the pain as she falls to the ground, swinging her leg around, knocking the 2 guards from their feet. She jumps up, darting for the spears that they had been holding, but neither move to stop her. The one on the left winks at her. Let's go, Tay, he whispers, and she pretends to punch him, before snatching up the spears and tossing one to Ward. Now, she shouted. All around them, guards start to fight the Dark Ones. Tatra looks around and sees that all the ones that are on their side pull out a blue cloth and wrap it around their wrists. Tay, let's go, Ward says, grabbing her wrist. She hisses in pain and reaches around to feel her back starting to grow damp. What about Father? She asks as he pulls her from the room. She turns, looking as they run. Tay, we need to go. Andrew is going to try to get your father and Moraine. He pulls her into a side hall, and a bunch of elves run by. One glances at them, but nods and keeps going. Tay, I saw some guards pull them from the room before us, but I don't know what side they were on. He pulls his jacket off and drapes it over her shoulders. Ward! The two of them jump and press against the wall. It's me, Andrew calls. Here! Ward pops his head around the corner. Tay, Andrew says, slightly out of breath. I'm sorry. Our people didn't get him. I'm sorry. I don't want to rush you out of here, but... He shoves a pair of black pants and a cap at her. Put those on. He sticks his head out around the corner, watching for dark ones. Teacher pulls the jacket closed and the pants on and throws the cap on her head, tucking her hair into it. All right, let's go. We have a few horses ready. What about everyone else? The families? Some of the ones I thought I could trust know where to go. Right now, we need to get the two of you out, he says, pulling Ward and Teacher around the corner. How many horses are ready? Who's down there? Ward asks, a firm hand on Tetra's. They have 3 for us, and then for the families. There are some of the stable boys down there, but all the guards were called up top for this little spectacle. So that is why we need to hurry, so that we can get out of here before the dark ones catch up with us. The two of them run into the courtyard where 2 stable boys hold horses. Ward, please take me with you. Ward had given Tetra a leg up onto a horse when Sam comes running down the stairs. Sam, oh my God, I'm sorry, please hurry, Ward says, grabbing the boy. Tay, can he ride behind you? Of course, Sam, Tetra says, getting herself settled. Ward throws Sam up behind Tetra. Please, just be careful, my back. Of course, the boy squeaks, putting his hands on her waist. Let's go, Ward shouts, kicking his horse on and out into the night. The other 2 hurry behind them into the city as the rumble of the Dark Ones shakes the castle behind them. The rebellion had begun. Till All the Stars Are Found, my newest book is now available for pre-order. This young adult science fiction novel will be published on March 6th, 2021. Click the link in the show notes to see where you can pick up the book today. While I have you here, I wanted to share the back matter of the book. Joining the Galactic Garrison was the best decision that Ada Gomez ever made for herself. Or so she thought. Orphaned with her brother Sarkis in the foster system, who she can't claim custody of, a guardian who is days from kicking her out, and no job. There is nothing left for her on planet Earth. The only thing going for her is that she has made it. After 3 years of work, Ada has qualified to begin training for the esteemed Special Operations Team on the Galactic Garrison Space Station. Joining the Spec Ops Division is a chance to start over, to make a name for herself, and if she plays her cards right, maybe Ada can get Sarkis back. But her journey is just beginning. Being in the Spec Ops isn't easy. It isn't supposed to be. Any sign of weakness must be squashed. Fear is the devil, and hesitation is worse than death. But some of the training doesn't add up, and any semblance of structure? It looks like Ada left that back on Earth. Ada and her team do their best to put the pieces together and figure out what exactly is going on, and roll with the punches, both mentally and physically, to come out on top. Little do they know, the hardest test is yet to come. Because this year, everything is different. Until All the Stars Are Found, a young adult science fiction novel, is now available for pre-order. Its publication date is March 6th, 2021. Hi everybody, this is Caitlin Costello, the author and narrator of The Frituals. If you've enjoyed this podcast so far, please leave a review or a rating where you listened. It really helps to get the podcast in front of more people. If you can't possibly wait for another episode of The Frituals, fear not, because the full audiobook is now available. A slew of stores, including Google Play, Apple, HiBooks, Scribd, Chirp, Kobo, Walmart, audiobooks.com, and Nook Audiobooks. And it's being added to more stores every single day. It's also available at your local library, so if you request it from your library, they should be able to get it into their system fairly quickly. I am running a sale currently on signed print editions of the book, and these are 20% off using code SPOOKY through October 31st. That is code SPOOKY through October 31st from CaitlinCostello.com. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. This has been a production of The Frituals, written and performed by Caitlin Costello. Text copyright 2018 to Caitlin Costello. Production copyright 2020 Caitlin Costello.